As I mentioned earlier, I was either going to rebuild or replace these calipers and then replace these rotors. And in my research, I was able to find, call it an upgrade kit, that would include the Cobra / Bullet style calipers and the 13-inch rotors. It's actually less expensive to buy this kit than it would be to replace the original stuff through traditional auto parts stores. So I decided to do the upgrade and go with the larger brakes. One of the unfortunate victims of our digital age is manufacturers are no longer including printed instructions for their products. They give you a reference to a online link, something like that, and then leave it up to you to print it off or to watch a video, something like that. Well, you already know that I'm an old school guy and I kind of like a piece of paper in front of me, but this is a little sad. There is nothing packaged with this stuff. The only exception is on the box for the brake pads. They detail out their bedding in procedure on your first few initial stops to get the pads hot and get them bedded in. Other than that, you either have to look online or figure it out for yourself, which I think is unfortunate. I'll get off my soapbox. And now what we've got our new caliper bracket. We've got the new brake caliper. Something to note is the casting on the caliper is, you could say, ambidextrous until it's machined. So for this one, the port for your brake line is drilled and tapped into the boss that's marked R, and then the bleeder screw is put on the opposite side. If this was the driver's side caliper, your brake pipe would go into the boss marked left and your bleeder would be installed at this end. So you need to pay attention to that. So this is the passenger side caliper. On the caliper bracket, molded in, cast into it is an R or an L that designates left side or right side. So you'd need to get the parts matched to each other. Brake pads, there's two different styles or two different types that are manufactured depending on left or right. And the way that these work is the pad that fits your configuration with the hole on the same end as your bleeder screw. They go in and snap in to the casting. And they are a little tough. But once you get them started, they will snap in. And then same thing, end with the hole goes towards your bleeder screw. I've seen a few videos where guys will take some anti-seize compound or some silicone grease and put a small bead around these spring clips where the pistons bear against the pad in case it shifts or moves, maybe to avoid squeaking. For this mock-up, I'm not going to do that. And again, get all the clips started and the pads are in place. We're at the fun part of the installation where you get to take your brand new shiny parts and bolt them on the car. So first thing we're going to do, we're going to take our brake rotor, which is side specific. There is a sticker on here that tells you driver or passenger side. So we can get the rotor on the hub and just secure it with a couple of lug nuts. And this can just be hand tight. I've taken my caliper bracket attaching bolts, ran them on the wire wheel, cleaned off all of the old thread locking compound, and we're going to apply some thread locker blue. It's the 242 formula, and you only need to put that stuff basically on the end of the bolt, because the spindle is a through hole. There's nothing for it to thread into. So put a liberal amount on the last 3/4 inch of your mounting bolt. Then you can take your caliper bracket, bring it into place. And get your bolts started. And now that they're clean, it's nice because they thread right in with your fingers. Then I'm just going to snug these down. With the 12mm wrench. Got my torque wrench set to the recommended 85 foot-pounds. So we're going to get on these bolts and torque them to the spec. This will be kind of an overview of the next couple of steps, and I wanted to get into detail of what we're going to be talking about and doing. We're going to be dealing with these areas, this machined area in the caliper bracket, here, here, and then in this area here and here, and then this slot that goes across. We're going to be putting some of the supplied lubricant in these channels, and this is what the brake pad frames slide back and forth on. So these do need to be lubricated, but you don't want to goober the stuff on because it does attract dust and dirt and crud, but you want enough in there to where these parts are going to be able to move freely. So here's a little packet of ceramic silicone brake component lubricant that comes supplied with the kit and the pads. And I'm going to squeeze out a little amount onto the end of a small screwdriver and apply it to those machined areas on the caliper bracket. Again, you don't want to just goober this stuff on, but you do want to be somewhat liberal. And I'm getting some into that cross slot where the hold down pin travels. And keep in mind that you get one packet for both sides of the car. So again, you need to be liberal but not crazy. Basically just cover the machined areas where this is going to ride. Now that we have our sliding surfaces coated with the supplied lubricant, we can take our caliper with our pads loaded, and this goes in where it kind of hooks into the top in the front. You have to press these anti-rattle springs a little bit to get out of the way. The caliper's pretty much in position right now. And we're going to put a little bit of that lubricant on our guide pin, slide pin, hold down pin. I don't know the correct term for it, but we're going to smear some of that stuff on there. And then with some downward pressure on the caliper, we can slide that pin into place, and the caliper's secure. There's a supplied spacer washer that goes on the end of the pin. And then a C-clip, which goes into the groove to secure the pin in place. And make sure that that C-clip is seated in the groove completely. And you are done. Now, I was very careful applying that lubricant to the bracket and the pin, and just take a look on your brake rotor and see if you accidentally got some of that stuff on it. Wipe it down. It should spin relatively freely. You can hear it's just a little bit of a scuff. And that'll change or go away once the brakes are applied and the piston clamps and the pads get settled into their position. The last little bit to be done here is to reinstall my brake line to the caliper. So they come shipped with a rubber plug, cap off the opening, and they do supply 2 new crush washers. So order of assembly is your banjo bolt with a crush washer, then slip it through the banjo eye in your brake pipe, and then dribble fluid all over everywhere, and then carefully get that banjo bolt started. You do not want to cross thread this. It should go in with finger pressure. And then once you're assured that you're threaded properly, you can run it down. And I'm just going to snug this for now to stop the drips. I'm going to spray some of this down and clean up these drips. Now I'm going to temporarily remount the tire and wheel and check for clearance issues with my flexible line connection. There's no register where it locks into or fits into a certain position. And the only way to check is by mounting a wheel and then turning it through the steering arc to make sure that the flexible line doesn't touch the wheel or the tire in its travel. So we'll mount this wheel up and we'll be back in a minute. Okay, I'm under the car looking back at the caliper like you guys are, and right now it doesn't appear that I've got a conflict at full right turn. And you can't see it because the tire is in your face. I've got a slight contact on the lower control arm at full left turn. So I'm going to pivot my brake pipe down. Should be able to see it now. I'm going to pivot the brake pipe more along this plane so it's pointed that way. So then when it's at full lock left turn, it won't contact. Again, this is just, it's not final tightened, it's just snug so it doesn't drip all over the place. And now we'll take a look. Yes, in that position, it does not contact the lower control arm. I can go to full left lock. It does not bend into the tire or the wheel. So that is what we're going to leave it as. Pretty much just straight in line with the plane of the caliper. I'm going to dismount the wheel, final tighten that fitting, and hose everything down. I've got a soapy water solution in a spray bottle, and I am just going to hose this down and neutralize any brake fluid that might have spilled. I'm hesitant to use brake cleaner spray because of the fresh paint on the calipers. I don't know how stable or hardened it is yet, and I don't want all of my hard work to run off in the puddle on the floor. So the soapy water will neutralize the fluid and I can just mop that up. That being said, the only thing left to do on this side is to bleed the brakes. Fill this caliper with fluid, get the air out. This side is done.